Good evening. All right, thank you very much for the intro. And so indeed, my name is Frank van der Kreeke. I'm a platform strategist. So I help and advise customers on how to set up such a composable commerce architecture. But next to that, I'm also engaged actually in setting up such composable commerce at clients itself. So currently also engaged in one of those composable commerce projects based on commerce tools actually. And so a short intro on what is composable commerce. First, I would like to set a little bit the context. So why all of a sudden, or not all of a sudden, but why and where it's actually coming from. And what we see is that customers, they more and more focus on bringing actually value. They see that speed and adaptability is very important. And they no longer just treat a commerce solution as a project, but more as a product, what needs to evolve and can add value over the years. Also, they focus way more on bringing small batch sizes, and that also aligns a little bit with the flexibility. So then what is composable commerce? It's a modern approach where e-commerce teams are empowered to select and assemble very best of breed commerce solutions and compose them together and to make a modular, open, flexible, and business-focused platform. And Gartner also states that organizations that adopt such a composable approach, they will outpace the competition by 80%. And what is then MAG? I think a lot of people, they also know MAG. And what is then the difference between composable commerce and MAG? Well, actually, to my understanding and to my description, composable commerce is actually very much aligned with MAG, which stands for microservices, API first, cloud native, and headless. I think where composable commerce deviates a little bit is that they not necessarily agree with the granularity of the service. And so that for them is not per se a microservice, but it can also be a little bit bigger, like a macro service. And they then Gartner refers to that as package-based solutions for capabilities. And so is the composable commerce then already for me? Is it the holy grail? And the answer to that completely depends on your business challenges. Can depend on the industry you're in. Is there a lot of disruption? Are you doing B2B or B2C? And so we made sort of let's say a maturity in here. And so for a lot of customers that are in B2B, maybe in a more traditional industry, let's say an all-in e-commerce platform can still be perfectly fine for them and has the answer to the business challenges. But let's say you want to have a more performing solution, and then you can, for instance, start looking at SaaS platforms. And do you really want to start creating your experiences on the front completely yourself? And then the next step can be an API first headless strategy. And then if you even have more challenges, let's say you want to individually scale out, for instance, a cart or order, and then you can slowly move to a microservices based architecture. But like I said, it's really not the holy grail. It's also not a suitable solution for everyone. It really depends on the business challenges. And that also goes in hand a little bit with this slide. So adopting composable commerce, it comes with a lot of agility and flexibility, but it will also come at the price of complexity. And so you have more moving parts, you will have more SaaS vendors to manage, and maybe you also have to invest more in your own capabilities. And an important note here as well, which I stated at the bottom, it goes a little bit together with Conway's law, that at the end you also need to organize yourself differently. You cannot organize yourself against, let's say, the more horizontal layers where you would have one front-end team, one business logic team, and one back-end team. And these services are really vertical and end-to-end. So you should really, let's say, start having multidisciplinary teams where you can end-to-end deliver a future. And the way I've seen it a lot of times, it's a little bit organized along the customer journey. So you would have teams that just focus on product discovery, teams that focus on let's say the cart and checkout. And of course, it depends a little bit on your organization. But note here is that you need to organize differently. So that's a little bit the intro to composable commerce.